That's amazing. Ian is a first-time caller out of Florida. Ian, Happy New Year.
How's it going? How are you?
All is well. How you doing?
Doing amazing. Had a Merry Christmas. How about yourself?
Man, it was amazing.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
I called in today. I just wanted to thank you personally for allowing myself to hear the truth for the first time ever. And I was raised by my mother and father, and they both did the best job that they knew how, 100%. But,
Yes.
my mother imposed her will upon me, and I took on the identity of my mother, and it caused me to just be a very, very angry person.
Yes.
And I was given everything in life. I was extremely spoiled. And they were trying to do the right thing, but I think they just did a lot of bad in doing so.
Yes.
And I had no knowledge or no idea on why I acted the way I acted, why I had the anger that I had and everything else. And ever since listening to you, it's for the first time in my life, something has made sense. It's unbelievable just hearing the truth.
Amazing. You're welcome, Ian. That's an amazing story. And have you gone to them and forgiven them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I had a great conversation with my mother. Had a great conversation with my father. My father did not want to hear any of it, and I had to keep, being resilient with just having open conversation. And in the beginning, I thought I had removed my anger once I'd forgiven them, and I was wrong. I then came from a place of ego, and I felt like I knew everything that you were saying, and I knew this life, and that I had the anger removed from me. But I realized I didn't. I realized I was trying to convince them of things. I was trying to teach them my knowledge and all this stuff instead of just living life and being at one with God and recognizing that it's their journey and not mine, and it's my job to just lead by the truth and to just be there. And that's about it.
That's amazing. How did your mother react when you went to her?
In the beginning, she's always been a person who is catering to others. Even though she disagrees in the beginning, she might change her tone of voice and be, more, I guess the word I would use is fake. And that's completely okay because of how she has dealt with things in her manner. But in the beginning, I could tell there was like this slight fake of her not understanding what I was saying, because I guess in the beginning it kind of just sounds like you're putting the blame on your parents, and in reality it is the fault of your parents.
That's
you were
right.
born innocent, you were born of God.
That's
and
right.
Now they instilled the anger in you, and so it is their fault, but it's kind of a hard thing to grab because they gave me everything. They spoiled me on Christmas. I got everything, the whole 9 yards, and none of that made me happy. I would still find some way that, I didn't get this gift, I didn't get that gift, and I was just so spoiled and so angry. I couldn't appreciate anything. And I get that that's my responsibility to learn, but I couldn't even recognize it. I couldn't even see it. It was unbelievable. Instead, I was just trying to blame everyone else around me. And my mother is kind of, in the beginning, she was open to listening, and then I hit a sore topic where we started talking on her, and then the anger started coming out. I helped her see that, and then we returned back to a good conversation and whatnot, but just total up and down, wild swing of emotions type deal.
Yes. How old are you, Ian?
I'm 24 years old.
Amazing. A perfect age to be waking up. Here's what I recommend. I recommend you do my silent prayer. Are you doing that yet?
I just started. I was making an excuse for me not to, and just the past 3 days, been doing it every morning, every night.
Yes,
and, the clarity is 100% helpful. People who think that they don't need the silent prayer or whatever it is 100% needed to reach that level of just complete of God.
That's right, man. Well, stay with the silent prayer. For those who don't know, you can get it at silentprayer.video. Stay with that. And whenever you're around your parents or anyone else, I want you to always speak up and be honest. Just don't hate. And so if your mother or your father are faking it, let them know you're faking it. I can see that you're faking it. But don't hate them for it. But do point it out. And one day they may see it for themselves and overcome it. And whenever you're with friends or anyone, be honest. Just don't be hateful. And don't try to convince anyone of anything. Because it's not our job, it's not your job to convince. It's your job to be an example of have faith in God and be what you say. And then if people take the truth and overcome, that's good. If they decide to reject the truth, they can suffer and die. It's not on you, it's on them.
Completely understand. Before I have a question. I've been in a relationship with a girl that has a very, very sweet soul, but is still lost in her anger. And I've been with her for 3 years. I did everything wrong. I was sleeping with her before marriage. I completely caused resentment towards her, told her all these things I thought were true that were not true, and made her believe that I had it all figured out. Meanwhile, I didn't know left from right. And so I caused a ton of damage in the relationship, and now sort of suffering for it. But I have no emotional feel towards it. I recognize the reasoning for it, and I'd love to help her overcome her anger and deal with her parents. And I have a problem. I can't really, I don't know how to go about it.
Are you living with her?
I am, and I know you say that is an issue, but I will not have sex with her again until we have marriage, and it is something where it is I've already discussed it with her, and she's completely understanding of that.
Here's what I recommend, and because you've already had sex with her, and then you have said one thing but did another one, she is judging you, and she's not going to stop until she overcomes, because women love judgment. Women, not all, but most, live off of judgment. They live off hatred. And so she hates you already. And unfortunately, or maybe even fortunately, you have to move out. And then don't stop dating her unless the relationship ends, but you cannot live with her and be that example. She's not going to see you that way. You don't have any children with this girl, right?
No, I do not.
You got to move out. Because
and why is it that if I'm willing to live under God and respect God first and live by God first, why do you believe that it won't work in a household where I'm still living under God and respecting the vows of marriage?
Because you've already broken the rules with this girl. You've had sex with her out of wedlock. You've lived with her. She already resents you for other things as well. And she resents you for having sex with her before marriage. And other little things. You've been a beta male with her. She resents you for that. And so if you have truly changed in the heart, you need to move out, but still date her, just don't have sex with her, and then correct her and see what happens. Give it a good year. And also, you don't want to give the appearance of living with a woman without being married. And so even God said, don't give an appearance of wrongdoing, right? And so when you leave your home in the morning or at night or whenever you leave, and she leaves, the neighbors are going to think you guys are just living, that you're living with her without marriage, and that's not good for the neighbors.
I can understand that, but as far as I don't necessarily worry about what the neighbors are thinking. It's more or less
but you should.
Where I stand.
You shouldn't worry about what the neighbors are thinking, but you should want to, as Christ did for us, you should want to give or set the best example. And it's not just for your girlfriend, it's for the world. You are the light of the world and the salt of the earth. So you should want to set a best example for the light of for the world. Because other people watching, your friends are watching, your family members are watching, and when you try to correct them, they're not going to listen to you if you're living with a girl.
I guess I can understand that. I know I'm going to have such a hard time in the conversation department with her understanding that, because I personally don't really believe in the difference. I understand the setting an example for the people, but if I respect myself, I respect her, and I respect God, why is it that I cannot live that same lifestyle?
But because the way you sound, you're still addicted to this girl, and you are afraid to leave her. Hold on, Ian, don't hang up. So, Ian, what will happen, you believe will happen? You're 24 years old. You're now becoming a son of God, and you want to do it the right way. What will happen if you move away, or she move away, one of you move away, but yet date, but not live together? What will happen?
I don't necessarily know if anything would happen. It's more or less along, I know she likes to, so she's a girl who is, she's older than me, and I know you're against that.
How much older?
And 6 years.
Oh, my God. Drop that relationship in. That's your
No,
mama.
no. She has a beautiful soul.
No,
and
she's
comes from
conning
a
you.
great home.
No, if she has anger, she's not a beautiful soul. She's a dark soul, and she's cunning you. You're being played.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I don't. In the beginning, I completely agree, and that's where all the resentment came from. And I was just total beta, totally just far from a man. But now that there's a different level, it's not that I want to like hold on to something that I don't believe can work. It's something that I genuinely believe can work. She just has to overcome her anger. And I think that if I were to leave, she would want to continue to. She likes the nightlife and things of that nature, not extensively, but I feel like her continuously living the same life that she has been living, as opposed to having some form of word of wisdom to when I'm there or whenever she's making decisions, will just keep her further away from the truth and her finding the truth. And I just think it would do more damage than good as opposed to leaving or staying.
Amazing. How did you meet her in?
I met her through friends. I used to play poker for a living, so she was a dealer at the poker room, and we met out at a social event.
So she's 30 years old, and you're 24, right?
Yes.
And dump this woman, give her the best advice, and let her suffer and die or wake up. You're not going to, and you're not going to be able to help her.
I have love for the girl, so I don't understand why I would need to dump her just because she's angry and just because she's older than me.
You do not have love for her, because if you loved her, you would not have had sex with her. You would not have moved in with her.
Before I was lost. I had no concept of what love was.
And now you are found. Now you've been found. Now you should do the right thing. And you think the right thing is to leave her instead of help guide her along her way? And right. You can guide her without living with her.
I can agree with that. I guess that's true, and so that kind of defeats what I'm saying. I guess it's true.
It is true. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, if you're going to guide her and she's going to listen, you have a better chance of doing it by moving out. But I'm not telling you. I would break up with her if I were you, but I'm not telling you to. That's up to you. Yeah. She's so much older than you, and she has more street knowledge than you do if she's been working at some gambling club or something. But I would, you have a better chance of guiding her by moving out and dating her if you're going to date, but no sex, than you do by living with her, because she already resents you. She sees you as a beta male, and it's going to take a lifetime for her to overcome that.
You think while I'm living with her, it's going to cause her not to be able to overcome her anger and just stay where she is? Is that what you're saying?
100%.
And why is that? That's the part I can't really grasp onto.
Because she already sees you as a beta male. She's already judged you, and she's not going to let up until you do. If she's going to do it at all, you got to do the right thing. You got to move out, or she got to move out. I'm not telling you to break up, but you got to change the order of things. You got to be what you say, and she's not going to believe that until you take different action, the right action. And I'm not telling you to date other women. I'm not telling you to break up with her, but you got to do it differently so that she can see the change in you and not just what you have to say. It's not what we say, but it's who we are, what we do, and who we believe in.
That makes sense. I can respect that. It's just tough for me to bite because it would require me. It almost sounds like it requires me to leave the home for her to find her way. And
it does, and that's not your home. You living with mama.
No, but currently, before I 100% was.
And you still are. And in her mind, you're still a little boy because you're talking one thing and still doing the same thing. She's not going to believe you until she sees your action. You got to say, hey, I've been wrong for doing this. I apologize to you. I should have never moved in with you. I should have never had sex with you before marriage. I was wrong for the wrongdoing I'm doing. Now I see better. I'm going to do better. One of us have to move. And if she's not willing to, then you should move.
Yeah. All right. That's a bullet I'm going to have to bite and think about. I appreciate the words, but I do want to answer your
Let me ask you this.
question of the week.
Do you love God with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else?
I feel like I'm overcoming everything currently, and that is my overall end goal. I would say yes, but I still feel like I have moments of frustration. I still have moments of what is anger that I can't really explain on the reason what it is. And I think it comes from internal conflict from myself that I'm finding because of these problems with my girlfriend, the fact that whenever I try to, move forward in conversation or something, she continuously brings up the past and things I've done before, and we can't make groundwork.
She's never going to stop that. You got to move away from her. She's not going to stop that. She's judged you already, and so she's living off the judgment. She loves judging you. That's how she get her life. And when she judged you, you overreact to it. And every time you overreact, it gives her life and it gives you death. You become more subject. You got to stop overreacting to her.
Yeah.
And another thing is that you don't love her, you lust her. You're addicted to her by way of sex and by way of frustration. She's controlling you that way.
Yeah.
And she's not going to stop, I'm telling you. She'll take you to the grave before she stops judging you.
Yeah. And all that makes sense. I guess it is. And it's weird because you say when you let go of anger, you remove a fear. And I guess there is an underlying level of fear within me that I would lose our relationship by doing that because I'm afraid through her anger she's going to find offense to what I'm going to say instead of seeing the truth.
And that's fine. Plus, you don't have a relationship with her anyway. She doesn't love you and you don't love her. You guys have a anger thing going on, and anger feel like love, but it's not. It's hate.
Yeah, in the beginning, it definitely did feel like that 100%. I was lying to myself. But currently, I know I genuinely have a love for her, what real love is, and I see the beauty in her soul. She is a very kind person, but she's
not a kind person. And stop deceiving yourself. A kind person would not be judging you. She's an evil person. That doesn't mean she can't change if she wants to, but she's not a kind person. She's a manipulator.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a millennial, and so I see just people of my age group. They do nothing for others. They have no sense of friendship, and she's the exact opposite. She does solely for others with no benefit to her. She doesn't think of what others are going to give to her. She is a genuinely kind person. I understand that doesn't resonate with anger.
No, everything she does is for her. She get the glory for it, and the glory mean more than anything else you get back from it. And if she does for you and you don't do for her, she will accuse you. I do all of this and you don't do anything. You show me no respect. You don't do this and you don't say.
I've gotten that.
Yeah. So so she's doing it for the glory of herself. So she has a hidden agenda. You just don't recognize it.
Okay. That totally makes sense.
And I want to tell you that now that you have forgiven, when you feel anger, it's only because you believed into a thought. Satan has given you some thought and you believe it. And because you believe it, you're feeling anger. So when that happens, just know that thoughts are lying to you, so it's not real. Relax and let it pass. God is with you.
Yeah, I notice it comes up more in conversation. So, like, for example...
Hold on. You understand, when you feel anger now, it's only because you believe the lies of your imagination. Every thought is a lie. And so when you believe the thought, you feel either anger or you feel good. Both are phony. So when you feel that, just know you are free, and the thoughts and things you're feeling are your imagination. They're not real. It doesn't mean that you have not changed or not changing. It's just that you believe into that lie. Doubt every thought in, and then you can see the truth.
Yeah, I've really been working on that, and the silent prayer helps with that a ton. I kind of find it more in the zones where I used to consider myself passionate and use that as an excuse for my emotion.
Yeah.
I will tend to find myself not necessarily finding anger, but whenever I'm trying to, someone that I care about, a friend or whoever it is, and we have a conversation, in the beginning I was finding myself more frustrated and coming from a place of anger
Yes.
and from ego. And it's gotten much better over the week and a half or so of me recognizing that.
That's
and
right.
now I genuinely don't feel like I have the anger.
That's
but the
right.
frustration still sort of bleeds through very minimally, and it's not coming from a place of anger, but it's almost like I can't believe how the truth is being said to this person, and they're just reciting lies back to me. And I recognize how you almost look at it like when you have conversations with these people that they're helpless and you can't help them. And it's almost like I don't want to accept that, and I don't want to allow these people to be stuck in the anger.
You are just like you're overcoming your mother. Every woman think that she can save somebody else, right? And she played.
No doubt.
My
mom definitely thinks that.
Yeah, she played God when she really can't save anyone. And likewise, you can't save anyone. You can't save yourself. You can't save this phony girlfriend you're with. You can't save anyone else. So stop trying and stop being a beta male. Stop being a woman and just tell the truth and leave it up to them. Don't hold it against them if they don't accept it.
Oh, no, of course not. And I never do. It's more or less exactly what you're saying. It's my mother's identity bleeding through, and I want to be the caretaker, essentially, to help them. And it's not like, and I recognize I can't help them. I recognize that is where the frustration is coming from.
Yes.
But
don't judge it. Just recognize it without any opinion. It'll fade away. God will take it away from you. And as far as this girl, you can't save her either. You don't owe her anything. Both of you have been wrong in this relationship. You don't owe her anything. And when you tell her you're moving or she's moving, she's going to try to bait you a cake to draw you back in, or she's going to call you selfish and names to draw you back in. If she baits you a cake, eat the cake, but still move. She's going to try to give you sex or something to control you because she loves having control over you. And now you're becoming free, but you're making up all these excuses to not do the right thing. Don't listen to those excuses. They're straight out of hell. They're not from you, and they're not from God. Stop playing mama and become an alpha male.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, without a doubt.
You got to let her go in.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't... I guess that is it. I don't want to let her go. I feel like if I let her go, maybe that's the end of it. And maybe if that's what's meant to be, then that's what's meant to be.
That's right. And if you're in because she's older than you, you don't need a woman that old. You're going to always be boy, and she will always control you.
Yeah.
Because women are very cunning.
No doubt.
So you got to grow up and let her go. Seek first the kingdom of God in his right way, and all things will be added.
Yeah.
And if you want a wife and a family, God will add a woman unto you. It'll be the perfect woman for you, and you will do it the right way, and you will have a marriage that will last until death do you part.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what I want. And it's just sad because I want it with this girl, and I guess it's just my selfish desires.
That is ego. Yeah, that's ego. That's not want. That's ego. Let God will be done and not yours. And whatever is meant to be will naturally happen. Let this person go.
Yeah.
You got to move out. You got to move out. Stop being beta male.
Yeah.
And don't let Satan.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Don't let Satan talk you into it. Cause every emotion that you get come from hell. And it comes from,
no doubt about that.
It comes from believing a thought. So every thought you get, every thought about the so-called past or about the so-called future are all lies.
Yeah, I recognize that, and I guess I'm just failing to recognize it in this aspect of the relationship and doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, I've noticed that millennials are weak. They're good workers, but they're very weak when it comes to other things.
Well, I recognize that as my father I've never seen my father stand up to my mother ever in my entire life. She used to just get red throat raged, screaming at at grocery attendants for doing their job wrong.
Yeah.
And my father would just say, let her go, let her go, let her do her thing.
He's a beta male. He's afraid of his wife because he's married to his mother.
Of course, 100%. And I've said that to him, and I recognize that. And every time I say that to him, he just, completely shuts down, gets upset, doesn't want to hear it, the whole 9 yards.
But you still tell him, but don't resent him and don't try to force it on him. Let him suffer.
Yeah, no, and I've released that. I have no resentment. I have no convincing of him, but he fails to even have a conversation of the truth. He won't even allow it.
He's a beta male.
No doubt. I recognize
and
that.
And if you stay with this woman, you will be a beta male. You will be walking in the footsteps of your father, and she will be your mother.
Yeah. It makes sense. It really does.
Because you get out of their end.
All right. Definitely something I need to consider and be real with.
Yeah. Either that, you will suffer and die if you don't do it.
Yeah, definitely have to do things the right way. And just my ego and everything else trying to convince me that I could do it another way. And I think you're right.
And the ego
you're right.
That's right. And the ego is Satan.
No doubt.
So do you see clearly what I'm talking about?
For sure. Yeah, I 100% do.
So now you just now you take action.
Continue.
You take action now.
Exactly. Yes.
You want to respond to my question. If you know a person's history, does that mean you know their future?
Yeah, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. That's just like a ridiculous question. I hear people answer that from I think you had this question a few months ago, and I'm an avid YouTube looker.
Yeah.
To hear people's responses to that and people who think they're of God and all this other stuff, and they start resulting to, quotes from John or all this other stuff and all these things, it blows my mind that you can't just think logically and say, hey, obviously my history has nothing to do with what I choose to do in the future. I mean, that doesn't even make sense.
The wisdom of God has been kept away from the children of the lie.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, great call. Let me know how things goes, all right? Go.
Yeah, I will. I'll call back in.
All right, but you got to do the right thing, and not what you think and not what you feel, but do what's right, and your life will be amazing.
Yeah.
God bless you, Ian.
Thank you. I appreciate your words.